Hello everyone, it's been a while. This is Desert Wolf here, coming back to review a Japanese Spirits of Tsushima campaign turn that is May 12th, 1942. And I have quite a lot planned for this turn. I have a raid on the super area of some light cruisers. I have an attack first time on the Allied forces that landed in Lumea. I have a big attack on Chongqing that I am hoping will take the base. And I have a small raid on a PT boat force in northern Darwin, and then of course whatever my opponent has planned. Let's see how much of these things would work. So here we go. This is the destroyers raiding the PT boats that are guarding Darwin. Um, it's night, so I'm not expecting, with low moonlight, so I'm not expecting a lot of success here. But we will see. Let's see. I'm just gonna speed through because this can take quite a while, and I don't want the replay to be too long. Okay, so a little bit of success. I sunk one PT boat here, but yeah, not that much. Let's see if the next rounds. I'm expecting the destroyers to hang around a bit, see if they can sink some more PT boats. The Chungking one is the really big one for me because obviously I've been building up to this moment for a long time. Forts are down to 0. I've done 6 attacks so far. This is the 7th, and I'm hoping that that will carry the day. So here we have a battleship slash heavy cruiser force attacking the Allied beachhead in Numea, which they've, as a reminder, the Allies have landed forces in Numea, and now I've brought in 2 divisions and sent down the KB and all of that to attack and destroy the forces that I've landed, which primarily consists of the 161st Infantry Regiment, American Infantry Regiment. But they also have a lot of artillery support, and there's a Marine Raider battalion there as well. So I'm noticing that the battleships unfortunately focus most of the fire on the artillery. Yeah, on actually one artillery unit, and then the cruisers piled on the infantry regiments and another artillery regiment. So hopefully that will still cause a lot of damage and disruption primarily, I guess, and that means that my attack will do well in at the end of the day. But we'll see. The other thing that I forgot to mention is I also have a bombardment because the KB is hanging around here right now. That just made a show of force because the Allies were actually brought a carrier group here the last turn, and I attempted to get the KB to intercept, but the Allied carrier fled. Allied carrier force fled. But I'm also doing a bombardment of Norfolk Island over here, which has a lot of search and fighter planes that he deployed there to capture my KB. So hopefully it will cause some damage there. Okay, let's keep going. I was rambling there for a little bit. I haven't been able to do turns. I was traveling quite a bit, and this is really the first time that I got a chance, and I had to do one for this one because I was expecting much more action. So that should be an interesting turn. We'll see. Okay, so more attempts at cutting down the PD boat force here. Naval forces surprised, which is always good to see. Alright, I'm gonna zoom through this. Okay, I see a couple destroyed. One hit. Not too bad. Let's hope for another round of attacks. Okay, that's my light cruiser force moving into this area because I saw a lot of naval traffic. Allied naval traffic around Pago Pago, and I also got some good SIGINT hits, and I'm pretty sure his heavy forces are not there. Certainly not his carriers. I don't think his battleships are here, the surviving battleships. He might have some cruisers, and those would be a bit of trouble. And he also might have some bombers operating out of Pago Pago as well. So that's something that I'm concerned with. Sorry, I had to move the window a bit because it was shaking. My settings are not optimal, so I have to figure them out, to be honest. They were stopping, but... Okay, so the MC guard is hit. Again, this might take a long time, and it's just a busy turn. I don't want to take forever. I'm gonna zoom through here. Alright, so I see one destroyer minesweeper has been sunk and the other has received light damage. So no damage sustained, but we'll see if what happens next year. Okay, they encountered another task force. I was hoping for a fat transport task force, but can't get everything you want. Looks like a couple of corvettes, which are pretty valuable at this stage of the game. The allies don't have many, and they're really, really good at ACW, so it's always nice to hopefully destroy them. We'll see. Again, I'm going to zoom through this. So, replay rather. Yeah, so some success there, both sunk. Alright, that seems... Okay, that's my battleship force. Unfortunately, this Tsushima is attacking the base force, which I was hoping they would attack the airfield. But he attacked the airfield. Damage here, lots of damage here. And looks like I got a decent number of damaged aircraft and some destroyed, so that's going to be good. Just keeping that island suppressed, and he's been using it to spy on my KV movements and my naval movements around Numea. So that's the idea behind that, primarily. So that's the end of the naval phase, and some recon. That's my aircraft are picking up. Oh, okay, so picking up a lot of shipping at Pago Pago. I might have just been unlucky and hit warships that are less valuable than transports and whatnot. Sweep over Madras to clear the way for bombers to keep the base suppressed. And here they come. Unfortunately, weather is not ideal. Still got some decent hits here. Good accuracy in those bombers. Good pilots. Follow up on the bombers. Lots of recon flights. Okay, that's good news. Black Path is also good news. I was worried my bombers will not fly in support of the attack on 15, but this is good news. They're flying, and they're flying in good weather, so EA for me. Let's hope that's is enough to swing the odds in my favor. So here we have considerable disruption and damage and disablements to the enemy, to the Chinese forces, which is fantastic to see. So it's good news. Again, really good results here. 45 disabled, 31 disabled, non-combat squads. That's excellent. That's what I want to see. Makes me much more confident that the attack is going to succeed in taking Chongqing. Which, as a reminder, we are May 12th, 1942, so that's a very, very, very early time to take Chongqing. So that's definitely a feather in my cap there, and should hopefully help me quite a bit with the campaign, as I am now seeking auto victory in 1st of January 1943. So we'll see if I'm able to pull it off. It's not going to be easy given my opponent's skill level, but I have a chance here, so I'm going to go for it. Again, hoping Chongqing is a good result. We'll see what happens there. Sometimes you just get really, really bad odds. Um, by that I mean die rolls. It's a Gary Grigsby's games. There are a lot of randomness thrown into the mixer. Some harassment on my infantry divisions here by the Allies. Oh, and one thing is I'm pulling back some of my forces from the front lines to kind of like get rid of the Madras garrison, the Bangalore garrison, because they've been. I need to clear my rear, and I need to do some housekeeping in India with cleaning up and mopping up forces and whatnot before things get too dangerous, and I find myself in a vulnerable position. So I'm hoping that once China gets pacified, or largely pacified, then I can shuttle more forces into India, shuttle more forces into other sectors of the map, and then I might have a significant second wind and pursue another attack in India, or just really depends on how many forces he brings. But either way, it should be really helpful to subdue India early on. Oh, there goes the oh, bad lights clouds is not good for me. So we did have dive bombers and dive parkours, so this is going to be tense. I'm hoping he doesn't succeed. Okay, so far so good. Okay, that's good. I think this might be the last one. Ah, no, that sucks. Okay, so we got a bomb hit. Looks like no heavy damage so far, so fingers crossed. The Kumal, I have to remember to check it at the end of the turn, might be in relatively decent shape to extricate from that sector. As long as he doesn't have major naval forces there, I should be able to make it back. If he does, then that could be the end of the Kumal. That's the end of the warning phase. Also jockeying for position by the Allied forces around Suva. I'm not really contesting Suva much, it's just really an outpost at this stage, but given that he landed in Noumea and I counter landed forces there and trying to finish him up, hopefully this will give him second thoughts about moving in with light forces, so that will buy me more time. Huh. Interesting. That's very unlike him. I'll take it, I'm happy about it, but that's very unlike him. I suspect what might have happened is maybe his sweeps were coming in from... I'm not really sure. To be honest, I'm not really sure what he's thinking here. Maybe he thought I wouldn't have cap because I would be sweeping Madras and he's hoping to... But like... Yeah, it's strange. It's very unlike him to just send bombers without any sweeps. It's very rare. But again, happy to take it. Maybe he miscalculated somewhere there or forgot some misclicked or who knows, it could be anything. But this is really good for me. I'm happy to chew up dive bombers for free. I'm just gonna zoom through this. I'm hoping like all of them would be destroyed. I've got enough caps to be able to do so. So let's see. Yep, I think all of them were destroyed by now. So that's excellent. SPD3s are not exactly plentiful at this stage of the game, so and the Allies get a lot of dive bomber units that they have to fill out. So I'll take this any day. It's really good for this. So far, the turn is shaping out nicely, I think, for me. Maybe I spoke too early. Moderate rain, so not terrible weather, not great weather. We'll see what happens. Okay, one Banshee is knocked out by flak. Yes! Whew. That's good. Thankfully, they didn't target damaged Kuma, which would have had a much harder time avoiding the dive bombers given its damage state. But I think he only has one squadron. That's what we saw last in the morning phase. So hopefully that's the end of those bomber attacks on my light cruisers for this turn. Alright, so again, things are going relatively well for me. Let's see what happens with Chongqing, which is really the big events for the turn. Okay, starting with a big show. So some of my divisions are really well rested, relatively full force. Others are really, actually, all my units are well rested. All of them have minimal destruction. I made sure to rest my forces before this key attack. Some of my divisions are, however, heavily disabled or with significant disablements from previous rounds of fighting. But the Chinese are also in bad shape as well. So, as you can see here, only a single core from this initial window has more than 200 AV that I see here. So, yeah, fingers crossed. Let's see, I have a lot of artillery playing a role here, so that should help as well. I'm just gonna zoom because it's gonna take forever, and fingers crossed, let's see what happens. Okay, that looks good. Artillery's really knocking down the enemy's AV here. Really well played. Okay, got some badly hit divisions, but some are still holding up. Okay, I think I'm gonna take it. Let's see. Fingers crossed. Come on. Come on. Yes. Chongqing is captured. Fantastic. Fantastic. All these retreating Chinese forces. I'll have to pursue them, but that's intentional. I actually did not want them to. I did not want them to be completely destroyed for two reasons. Well, the first one is, again, I wanted to save as much of the industry as possible, and when they're completely trapped and destroyed, generally it ends up in the entire base being wiped out. The entire base industry being wiped out. The second reason is I want that we're playing stacking limits, so I want to push them back into this hex, which is much more constrained in stacking limits versus Chongqing, which would make me pursuing the attack against these dug-in Chinese forces that he put here easier, because I'm rolling all these defeated, disabled, demoralized Chinese units on top of their heads. It's going to cause chaos. His defenses are going to be overwhelmed. Supply is going to be basically completely run out, and this is going to make my follow-up attack simpler and faster. That's the hope, at least. Depends on how much disablements I have and my disruption and whatnot, and how effectively I can maintain the pursuit. So, in any case, that's the plan. Let's see here. So, 3, 2, 1. Disruption and experience, and I'm assuming supply mouse as well. It just doesn't show up because I think it's maximum of 4 indicators in this type of window. I have to go in the turn window to see it, but yeah, he must have supply mouse as well. He outnumbered me quite a bit. I had guns and vehicles advantage, and he even had an AV advantage. But anyways, so considerable numbers of disablements. Not too many destroyed squads, especially if we're taking Chongqing in the final attack. I'm very happy with this result. But let's see what the allies have. Okay. So 2071 destroyed, 1213 destroyed. Yep. since this is a non-stacking game, a stacking game battle, there is no such thing as like 10,000 squads destroyed or something like that, because you can't pack that many forces in the hex. So otherwise you get a massive malice. So that was never going to happen. But also that means that I have suffered very little casualties. I think if I had to estimate, I probably suffered around 300 destroyed squads/devices in the entire siege of Chungking, something like that. Might be off by a little bit either way, but that's a very, very, very low cost in terms of destroyed squads, disabled, and destroyed squads and devices like vehicles and artillery for taking Chungking. Generally, it is much more expensive. Okay, but I'm very happy with this result. It's just savoring this moment, really. I should proceed. Okay, so this is the attack on Numea. These are the American / New Zealand Kiwi forces that have landed here attempting to take Numea but failed. And now I am counter-attacking. I have brought these forces by ship to the island. And I'm hoping to do some damage here. Okay, so the 2nd Marine Raider Battalion seems to have lost all its AV, but the 161st Infantry Regiment is still holding. That's okay. I think that's Japanese 1-to-1 odds. I think that's good. Okay, so let's see. So I have way more AV here, way more squads. Firepower is about the same in terms of artillery because he has a lot of artillery regiments, but I have just a lot more troops. Malice terrain, that's not surprised, it's ×3 in experienced Malice. So destroyed squads are about the same. In fact, the Allies even lost more destroyed squads according to this report. 115 disabled versus 43 disabled. Okay, guys, by the way, just the casualties here are meaningless, honestly. Like, that's just a reflection of the loadouts of the squads. Everything comes down to destroyed squads versus disabled squads. I see this quite often where people focus on the casualties, but that's not the big indicator in this game. It's all about destroyed and disabled devices. Devices mean squads, as well as tanks, artillery, and so forth. So, given the ratio of 115 versus 177, I've lost about 125 of my AV, assuming this is the right number given for war. And he's lost about 50, more than 50. So I have lost about approximately double his number of the squads, but my AV, I can afford that, he can't. So this is a really good result for an initial attack, and I think every single attack after this will be much easier, and I will be able to hopefully wipe out this force. So that's, again, a good result for me in this battle. This was the first battle against this force that has landed in. I made sure to wait until I had enough firepower to be able to overwhelm them or get a good result there. So just cleaning up here a bit, trying to take Bangalore to make it harder for the forces besieged here in Madras to escape. Looks like I've taken it. Tipu Fortress has surrendered. Minimal losses for the Japanese. Lots of destroyed stuff here, so good result for me. Okay. Some Allied bombardments. Oof, that was actually a really good bombardment. Surprising. That's good, okay. Bombardment to show for. Kind of minimal casualties to both sides, but it's nice to see a destroyed squad on the outside. This is the besieged Japanese, well, somewhat besieged. They still have an opening here, and here actually, Allied force that has been attempting to cause me some problems here, and I'm moving forces to seal it off and eventually take the city. Okay, and this is, I think I mentioned it in the last video, but the Chinese took advantage of an opening here. I had not enough forces guarding and kind of was bluffing my way, honestly, just to keep as many forces advancing or shrinking as possible. And they took this place and then moved in Nanning, and I think he's probably going to attack next turn and take Nanning. But that's okay, because I'm bringing reinforcements. And I am also going to push through here, and hopefully it should be dealt with pretty soon, especially given low supply for the Chinese, with chunking Poland especially the case. Alright, so that was a long turn. Lots has happened. I'm just briefly going to go through the intel screen and just check on the Kumo, see how much damage it has, and that'll be it. It's for the turn. Just it's rare that I would get good news across all fronts in a turn, especially against this adversary. But okay, so let's start with the Kumo. Okay, so decent damage, but nothing critical. That's good. And the intel screen. So 16 air-to-air losses. That's probably the Dauntlesses. 4 Catalinas destroyed on the ground, 4 fighters destroyed on the ground. That's all from the battleship bombardments of Norfolk, and a Banshee knocked out by flak that attacked my light cruisers, and a bomb broke as ops. Japanese-wise, 2 Babs, and then that's pretty good. Alright, and shrinking industry-wise. So not wiped out the base, but yes, I was a bit unlucky and got blood. Disabled industry. Okay, so that's the turn. I'll leave it there. Thank you guys for watching.